Hi, my name is Anthony Suarez, and I've been at OVH Cloud since July of 2017 as a senior systems engineer and later as a senior technical account manager. Before that, I was a senior technical account manager and then later a senior systems engineer at VMware. Over the years, I've watched as companies of all sizes work their way towards a cloud presence. I've seen many of the challenges they faced, and I've also seen many of the successes they experienced. Building on what I've learned, I hope to share with you some of that knowledge I've gained. Today we're going to talk about how to automate and optimize workloads for an affordable and secure journey to the cloud. Information technology is going through a digital transformation and reshaping how we do business, how we interact, how we make decisions, and how we influence society. OVH Cloud is at the forefront of this data revolution, standing apart from the competition with a strong commitment to creating a level playing field and the opportunity for any business to leverage this transformation to migrate to the cloud and make the most of the new digital world. So what does this mean for you? Well, it brings both opportunities and challenges. There are plenty of options to learn new and exciting skills, but rapid growth of cloud and now working from home have seriously disrupted the industry, and IT staff and management aren't always on the same page. So what are some of the challenges businesses are facing in the digital transformation? Data is growing at an exponential rate, and it's not going to slow down anytime soon. In fact, IDC predicts that by 2025, worldwide data creation will grow to 175 zettabytes. The challenge IT leaders face is figuring out what to do with all this data, where to store it, how to ensure it is readily available when it's needed, and most importantly, remain within, or even better, free up the IT budget. A side effect of mass digital transformation has been a failure in the supply of talent to keep up with demand, and the problem looks set to continue. According to IT Decision Maker Insights 2019 IT Salaries and Salary Report, IT skills gaps have increased by 155% in 3 years and can be credited to increased employee stress, development and deployment delays, and increased operating costs. Rapid advances in technology might be transforming the way we live and do business, but they're also introducing new and more complex security threats than ever before. The cybersecurity challenge is threefold. Cyber attacks are growing in size and sophistication. Millions of cybersecurity IT jobs remain unfilled. And while next-generation AI-driven cyber attacks haven't featured heavily to date, you can expect this to change over the next 5 years. As you move more and more workloads to the cloud, the complexity of learning different applications in the new environment is a productivity killer. It will bleed time and energy from IT teams and often result in unnecessary expenses. In an event, lack of familiarity or error-prone manual processes will impact your ability to recover quickly. The end result is unplanned downtime, the ultimate complication for any competitive business. In order to address many of the concerns we just covered, companies need to retain the knowledge and experience that their IT staff already possess. Rather than quickly introduce new technologies that require new skill sets, companies can move forward at a more predictable rate by keeping the skill gap small and leveraging automation that is already implemented. Expanding into the cloud then becomes easier and more cost-effective. During this session, we will demonstrate ways to optimize your IT strategy and reduce costs using skills and applications you're already familiar with in your on-premises environment. OVH Cloud leverages a long-standing relationship with VMware and has built a top-of-the-line automation engine that is at your disposal. You will learn how to leverage these automation tools and services using our state-of-the-art private networking, known as VRAC, to reduce manual intervention associated with provisioning, configuring, and managing cloud environments. During this session, we'll also discuss 3 common use cases around moving to the cloud. The first use case, we'll discuss moving to the cloud for disaster recovery, the ability to safeguard critical systems in the event of an emergency and to quickly recover. In a DR event, IT staff are responsible for bringing critical systems back up. Using a plan that leverages tools and processes that they use daily increases their efficiency at recovering those systems. The second use case will focus on data center extension, to be able to extend a company's on-premise resources to the cloud and easily increase and decrease resources as needed ensures a company's ability to remain agile. And the third use case is to migrate a company's data center completely to the cloud. This reduces CapEx and allows the company to focus on its business rather than on the infrastructure to run the business. Each use case demonstrates ways for you to prioritize your IT strategy and accelerate your migration to the cloud. Before we move on to demonstrate OVH Cloud's automation and tool sets, we've got to ask, why OVH Cloud? We're a global cloud provider specializing in delivering industry-leading performance and cost-effective solutions to better manage, secure, and scale data. We offer cloud services in 30 data centers globally. We own our own high-quality global network, committed to the highest security standards. This allows us to offer customers unmetered traffic anywhere on our networks with no ingress, egress, or regional charges worldwide. Every private cloud comes equipped with NSX and OVH Cloud's proprietary vRack to secure your platform with microsegmentation and private Layer 2 networking that spans global data centers. We offer SSL gateway service with up to 10,000 concurrent connections and optional Anycast DNS service. We offer the highest compliance and certification standards, and we offer a highly resilient Layer 3, 4, and 7 DDoS protection solution built into the network. With all those advantages, we can provide a smarter alternative for web hosting, emails, servers, hosted private cloud, and hybrid and public cloud solutions. So let's get started with our demo so I can explain some of the benefits and some of the features that OVH Cloud offers. First, I'd like to explain the environments we'll be working in today. Every hosted private cloud environment starts with at least 2 hosts and 2 data stores. It also comes pre-configured with vSphere, vCenter, NSX, VROPS, DDoS protection, and vRack capabilities, which are all included at no additional costs. Our hosted private cloud provides dedicated resources and allows customers to utilize vSphere and vCenter to manage their environments, also allowing them to keep the same policies and procedures that they currently use on-prem. We also partner with third-party vendors such as Veeam and Zerto, so IT personnel can continue to use their other management tools as well. This helps to keep the skill gap small as customers move into the cloud. In this first demonstration, we're going to add a data store to the current environment using the vSphere web client. So here we are in the home screen of the vSphere web client. You'll notice we have 2 powered on VMs, we've got 2.5 terabytes of free storage, and I have 2 hosts that are connected. Another thing is we have the OVH Cloud plugin. This gets added to all of our customers' environments, and what it does is it gives administrators the ability to manage resources right from the vSphere web client. So we can actually add and remove storage and hosts quickly and easily. If we come over to hosts and clusters, I see here my 2 hosts. I can right-click on one of those hosts, and it's a standard menu, but at the bottom there's an additional tab that's been added. And in here it says more of this host or remove this host. If I click on more of this host, another host with the same resources would be delivered. In this case, a 6-core processor with 32 gigabytes of RAM. And it would just appear in the environment. I can do the same with storage. We come over to the storage tab. I right-click, come down, and again, more of this storage or remove this storage. In this case, this is a 1 terabyte data store. And another one would be added. If I wanted to add something different though, let's say I wanted to add a 3 terabyte data store or a 6 terabyte data store, I can come up here, click on the data center, and come to configure. And this is a second place where I can access the OVH Cloud plugin. By clicking on add storage, rather than automatically adding the same size, I'm now given an option of different size storage to choose from. And whatever is needed is what will be delivered. So in this case, Let's just go with a 3 terabyte data store. I'll click Next, confirmation screen, and it'll start delivering. And there we are. It only took 3 minutes to add that data store to the environment. The time here is still only 4:58. Another way to add storage to the current environment is through the OVH Cloud control panel. This is the control panel for our OVH Cloud customers. This is where you can manage the resources that are in your hosted private cloud data centers. In this instance, I'm going to be adding a data store. So I'm just going to click over on data stores. And this is a list of all the data stores that currently exist in my environment. I'm going to add a data store. And for this demonstration, I'm going to add a 1 terabyte data store. I can actually choose the amount or the quantity of data stores I want, confirm the order, review the order, click Next. This is where we confirm payment and accept terms and conditions, confirm and pay. And in the next few minutes, another data store will be added to your environment. Just as maintaining a small skill gap allows for a much smoother transition to the cloud, automation allows for the reduction of errors and the orchestration of tasks to more easily manage the environment. Automation is at the heart of every product OVH Cloud produces, and we understand the value automation can bring to the growth and management of a cloud environment. We make the APIs to manage all of our environments available to customers at no additional charge. What this demonstration will walk you through is how to access the APIs and what is available for you to develop code that automates for your environment those tasks that you could normally do manually going through either the vSphere web client or the control panel. Here's the portal that we make available to all of our customers so they can access the APIs. Once inside, you'll notice that there is a list of different categories for all of the different products that OVH Cloud offers. So let's pick Dedicated Cloud, which corresponds to Hosted Private Cloud. And you'll notice that inside there's get commands, put commands, post, delete, with a description of what those commands are for on the right-hand side. So let's get information on this object's properties. You would input the PCC zone, which you can actually get from previous commands. And once you execute, code will be generated that includes all of the information specific to your environment. And we also offer that code already pre-made for PHP or Python code. Now with this information, you can take this, put it into a scripting engine such as Puppet, and that would help automate your environment. So this is a third way of adding and removing resources. Another way that OVH Cloud leverages automation is through the configuration of Layer 2 networks. With vRack, virtual rack technology, your OVH Cloud services can be connected, isolated, or spread across one or multiple secure private networks. Using our unique network technology, you can build complex private infrastructures on a global multi-data center scale. No more worrying about connecting or renting racks in a data center. No more needing to work with your service provider's network team to schedule a maintenance window, to lift and shift hosts to different racks. You have all the services and switches you need with guaranteed delivery, installation, and hardware maintenance. Furthermore, because your servers communicate securely within your private VLAN, you can make the servers accessible through your private or public network. We physically manage your private network, which means your servers don't require any software applications or network configurations. Our vRack automation takes care of all the configurations, so there's no need to learn new networking technologies. The following demonstration will show how easy it is to add resources to a Layer 2 VLAN. Our current private cloud in Hillsboro has a Linux desktop configured with an IP address of 10.10.10.10 on VLAN 10. Our data center in Vint Hill also has a Linux desktop configured with an IP address of 10.10.10.100, also on VLAN 10. During this demonstration, you'll see how easy it is to connect geographically separate resources in minutes. So here we have the vSphere web client for our Hillsboro environment, and we're looking at the demo Linux box that I have set up in that environment. You'll notice that it is set up as IP address 10.10.10.10, and if we look at the network configuration for this machine, we're setting on VLAN 10. Again, the VLANs are part of the VRAC configuration, and you can add additional ones. By default, you're given 10, but you can configure up to 4,000 different VLANs within a VRAC. If we look over on our Vint Hill environment, we also have another Linux box. It's configured at 10.10.10.100. And also, if we look at the network it's on VLAN 10 as well. But realize, these are on different VRACs at the moment. What that means is, if I go to Hillsboro, and I open a terminal window, and I ping the other server, it's not going to respond, because even though they are on VLAN 10, they're on VLAN 10 of different environments. Now, if I move back to the OVH Cloud control panel, and I look at the VRACs in my account, for this particular demo, I have a lot of VRACs established, but I'm looking specifically for 2278. And once 2278 opens, this is the VRAC that corresponds to my Hillsboro data center. And if I look at 2279, that VRAC corresponds to my Vint Hill environment. Now, if I want to move my data center and do a layer 2 stretch and connect Vint Hill to the same VRAC as Hillsboro, all I need to do is highlight the data center and click Move. Select the target VRAC. In this case, we're going to 78, and move. The operation should take about 15 to 20 minutes. The Vint Hill data center has just been removed from the VRAC 2279. If we look at VRAC 2278, we see that now Hillsboro and Vint Hill are both on the same VRAC. And remember, the VMs were both on VLAN 10, so now VLAN 10 is the same. If we come back to our demo box in Hillsboro, and I ping the Linux box in Vint Hill, now we see the traffic is passing. So within 20 minutes, we were able to do a layer 2 stretch, add 2 separate data centers, and we can do this with resources anywhere on our network globally. The other thing to keep in mind, again, is that any traffic passing on our network, and in this case between Vint Hill and Hillsboro, is unmetered. There are no ingress and egress charges. There's no regions to deal with. There's no hidden costs. Once you're on our wire, it is unmetered traffic. Extending Layer 2 VLANs is not limited to hosted private cloud. In fact, many customers currently leverage dedicated servers in their cloud environments. Remember, OVH Cloud has 30 data centers in 12 countries on 4 continents. The ability to grow and expand is considerable. But more importantly, because of the automation on the back end that is made available to our customers, moving and expanding in the cloud is both less time-consuming and easy to achieve with very little skill gap. Administrators can now add resources from the OVH Cloud control panel without needing to work with their service providers' network teams. One common use case is where customers run their backups in an OVH Cloud data center and ship backup copies to a dedicated storage server in a different geography with no ingress, egress, or regional charges. In this next demonstration, we'll add a dedicated server in London to the environment and connect via VRAC. In order to add more resources to our environment, we come back to Control Panel, and if I click on dedicated servers, I don't have any at the moment. I come up, I say I want to order a dedicated server. In this case, I'm going to order an Advanced 2. And instead of it being in Hillsborough, I'm going to choose one in London. Go forward with the order. I'm only going to order one. These are the details. It is available with 32 gigs of RAM, so we're just going to go in and click Next. Keep all defaults for this example. Just go for monthly subscription. Again, terms and conditions. Accept, confirm and pay. And in a few minutes, my environment will have a dedicated host. Okay, it's been 12 minutes, and we now see that I have a host available in Europe, in London. We click on it. These are the details. We notice that there is no operating system installed. So I click on Operating System, Install from a template, and I am going to choose Ubuntu 20. Okay. Just take defaults, and I will actually add a key. Now I've already created a SSH key and added it to my account. So now the server will be built with that key in place. So now we see that the London server has the operating system installed. Installation was complete. If we come to the network interfaces, we notice that the public IP address is set up with this IP address, but there's nothing in private yet. Also, something to bear in mind, if we go back to our VRAC of 2278, we'll notice that now we have a dedicated server. In order to add the dedicated server to our VRAC on 2278, we just highlight it and click Add. And now all of the connections for that layer 2 stretch are being built, and in a couple of minutes we're going to have that added to our dedicated layer 2 stretch. And there you go. Now, if we come back to our server and we log in using the public IP address as well as, and which was over here, the public IP address, and we create a PuTTY session that will allow us to log in. Notice the username is Ubuntu. OVHcloud uses the operating system name as the username, along with the IP address and the secure shell private key. We connect, and we're in. So we're now communicating with that host. Now, one of the things that needs to be added, if you'll remember, is we need to configure the private network. OVHcloud has produced a step-by-step guide on how to configure the VLAN on the dedicated server. But in the interest of time, I'm going to configure this, and then we're going to come back. Now that the configuration of the dedicated host in London is complete, we can come back to our Hillsborough demo Linux box, and we're going to ping the new address. And this is the London address. And we can see that we're pinging now. So traffic is actually passing from Hillsborough through our network all the way to London, and again, no ingress or egress charges. It's that simple to expand a very complex network with just a few clicks and a little configuration of a Linux OS. VRAC is also available for public cloud instances. In the next demonstration, we'll add a public cloud instance to our network and test with a ping. In order to add OVHcloud public cloud services to your VRAC network, all you need to do is go down to the VRAC. The one we've been using is 2278. Highlight the project and click Add. Now that project and all of the instances within it will already be a part of the VRAC. And again, able to ping anywhere in the world. Now we need to configure the public cloud. We're going to start by creating a VLAN. And in this instance, I'm going to set the VLAN ID to 10. can use dynamic or static for IP addressing. And I'm going to name this VLAN 10. Once this is created, we go to the instances, and I'm going to create an instance that will use that VLAN. I'm going to stick with Ubuntu. I'm going to add the previously added SSH key. And my VLAN is going to be VLAN 10. Now I'll decide whether I'm going to bill hourly or monthly. In this case, we'll just do hourly. And our instance has been added. So now, after refreshing my screen, we see that the private IP address has been applied, 10.10.2.64. If we move back to our demo box in Hillsboro, I should now be able to ping. And there we go. The automation and familiar environments offered by OVH Cloud help make the transition to cloud easier. However, OVH Cloud also provides several tools on our website that allow people to view the status of our global network and our product lines. This makes monitoring customer environments more efficient and helps make the cloud transition more smooth. In the next demonstration, I'll walk you through 4 tools that are available on our website for anyone to use. The first tool I'd like to show you is our status window for our network and our operations. So you can take a look and see all of the products that we offer and what their current status is. So you can see on this chart everything's operational. We also include a listing of all of the scheduled maintenance coming up. You can see that any particular maintenance may have an intermittent impact, in this example, over the time frame of 15 to 20 minutes at most. The previous one, impact may be a window of 5 minutes or less, but we give you an advance notice of what's going on. This is all based on the last 7 days. So in the last 7 days, there have been 0 incidents. Maintenance has, we've had 2 maintenance windows in the last 7 days, and we have 11 upcoming maintenance windows. You can also go to the history if you want to see beyond the last 7 days, last week, 2 weeks ago. We give you that option as well. The next tool I'd like to show you is the OVH Cloud Looking Glass Traceroute tool. This tool is useful for determining response delays and routing loops present in a network pathway across packet switch nodes. It also is helpful to locate any points of failure encountered while en route to a certain destination. The way that you would use this tool is we would pick a source, in this case, let's say Vint Hill, our Vint Hill data center. And let's just say that I want to do a trace route to an IP address. Let's just go Google DNS for now. And the resultant output is not only the trace route, but you also get the delays. You can also actually even map that. So same destination. And it'll give you a visual map of that traffic. Our network latency grapher is a tool that tests latency between OVH Cloud data centers, points of presence, Anycast locations, and others. OVH Cloud's network latency grapher will also give latency information for the last 2 hours up to the last 365 days. The way you would use it is simply pick a source. In this case, we're going to pick Hillsboro. And we can then take a look at any other DC. We can look at CDNs, Anycast, POPs in other countries and continents. But in this case, we're looking at Vint Hill, so we're looking at a 63.4 millisecond average over the last 3 hours. It's actually pretty stable over the last 30 hours. The last 10 days, 63.8, and you get a feel for exactly what the latency is anywhere within our network, again for troubleshooting purposes. The Network Weather Map tool is a graphical representation of the networking infrastructure for OVH Cloud worldwide. You can actually look at backbones, European data centers, North America. In this particular instance, we're looking at USA's backbone. And if we zoom in a little bit, you can see that this is the Ashburn data center. These are the infrastructure network points, and you can see where we connect with Google, Amazon, Equinix, Cogent. On the left-hand side, there's a pane with the different load scales. You can see that in the purple range, it's very light. And we don't have any red right now, but if there were, you would be able to identify where there is a traffic issue on the network. Again, we provide this free of charge for troubleshooting for anyone that wants to take a look at it. We don't even ask you that you log in, and you don't have to be a customer. So let's talk about what makes OVH Cloud different. In 2019, OVH Cloud celebrated 20 years of continuous technical and industrial innovation to become a global cloud leader. OVH Cloud is an open cloud that's reversible and interoperable. We are committed to enabling customers to be free to choose their cloud providers, free to change them, free to divide up their applications among several providers, free to choose where their data is stored, and free to work with applications they're currently familiar with in their on-premises environment. At OVH Cloud, we look at things differently, starting with building and owning our own data centers. We create the perfect data center environment while reducing energy consumption with our proprietary water cooling system. And because we don't use a raised floor or traditional air handlers and air conditioning, we can retrofit existing buildings or build data centers from the ground up in half the time. OVH Cloud owns a 20 terabit per second global fiber backbone, so we are able to provide our network at no cost. And our hosted private cloud environments include external connections with speeds up to 3 gigabits per second with 4.5 gigabit per second burst. Direct connects can also be established at speeds up to 10 gigabits per second. All OVH Cloud services include 8 terabits of DDoS protection with our proprietary anti-DDoS solution. We also build our own servers. Our factory is supported by 5 R&D labs dedicated to innovating and customizing proven methods of server stress validation and testing to ensure optimal performance. OVH Cloud can build up to 4,500 new servers per day, allowing us to stay on top of customer demand. Our industrialization process aims to protect the environment and decrease total cost of ownership for our customers. But most important, with OVH Cloud, you have one point of contact that is responsible for the entire vertical stack. You'll find our pricing very competitive with no surprises. At OVH Cloud, we offer a great value thanks to our vertical industrial integration. Hosts are dedicated, not shared resources. There are no ingress, egress, or API call fees. Unlimited and unmetered bandwidth, guaranteed 10 gigabits per second private and public networking. You have a fixed amount you know you're going to pay month over month. OVH Cloud Hosted Private Cloud is a single-tenant, dedicated environment to alleviate security and control concerns. Every OVH Cloud Hosted Private Cloud includes VMware vSphere Enterprise Plus, VROPS, and NSX, and provides access to vCenter. We were among the first cloud infrastructure providers to offer pre-built SDDC environments to customers in the cloud, and today, we are one of the largest resellers of VMware licenses worldwide. Thanks to VMware's technology ecosystem, IT managers can choose how they will adopt the cloud. They can outsource resources for all workloads, specific ones, or expand on an on-premises infrastructure by building a hybrid cloud. Entering the digital world means becoming part of an ever-changing universe. Our network of partners and integrators also improves the accessibility of our solutions. We established a reliable link between OVH Cloud and key component suppliers to relentlessly improve our time to market by benefiting from their latest innovations. This approach allows us to leverage a wide range of technical and business experts to deliver even more value to those who matter most, our customers. OVH Cloud adheres to rigorous security standards associated with various global, industry-specific compliance frameworks, from our infrastructure as a service services to our data centers. OVH Cloud is dedicated to delivering cloud services that adopt industry best practices to meet a comprehensive set of security and compliance standards. OVH Cloud uses independent third-party auditors to conduct audit examinations across a wide range of specific compliance requirements. There's no question that cloud computing is on the rise. More and more businesses are turning to cloud computing as their default setting. But with so many options to choose from, how do you select the right provider for your business? Here are 2 more reasons to consider OVH Cloud. OVH Cloud was recently named one of the European leaders in the hosted private cloud services segment, with the highest scores possible in the criteria of roadmap execution, vision for the future, as well as market approach and customer numbers, focused on strong cloud infrastructure solutions for customers of various sizes. And just 3 years after first entering the U.S. market, OVH Cloud is very honored to be named one of North America's strong performers in the hosted private cloud services segment, with the highest scores possible in the criteria of pricing scenarios, execution roadmap, vision of the future, as well as strength in market approach. Today's IT departments are facing new challenges. As companies move to the cloud, it is important to make that transition as easy and smooth as possible. By offering tool sets that help IT personnel expand complex networks, add and remove resources, and expand their global reach easily, we at OVH Cloud believe the transition can be made smoother and more cost-effectively. I hope that what you've learned has been helpful. If you have any questions or would like to learn more about how OVH Cloud can help your transition to the cloud, please feel free and reach out to us at ovhcloud.com. Thank you.